Now, if you thought this case couldn't get murkier than it already is, the Sheena Bora murder investigation, there is breaking news that is coming in. Top CBI sources have told India Today the scope of their inquiry has now expanded. It isn't just limited to Peter Mukerjea's alleged role in the murder of Sheena Bora. Sources are now saying they are also investigating Peter Mukerjea's alleged role in targeting Sheena's brother, Mikhail Bora. Indrani Mukherjee and Sanjeev had planned to eliminate Mikhail Bora after they had killed Sheena Bora. Both had also bought another suitcase in which they were planning to dump his body after killing him. Mikhail fled in the nick of time and saved himself. CBI suspects Peter Mukerjea was a part of that conspiracy to eliminate Mikhail Bora as well. And that is why the CBI has slapped Section 307, which is attempt to murder against Peter Mukerjea. He will now be put under custodial interrogation on this angle too. And I want to bring in my colleague Vinay Tiwari, who's been tracking developments on the story very closely. Vinay, if you thought this case can't get any more sensational, any more twists and turns, this is another crazy twist in this case, that Peter Mukerjea will now be investigated for a plot allegedly to kill Mikhail Bora.
Yes, and I think now what is emerging very clearly is the CBI case is as follows. The CBI says that 3 people have been arrested in this particular case for carrying out the murder of Sheena Bora. That's been established. Now they are claiming through another case, through another FIR and a remand application to court, that a 4th person who so far was not being suspected for being part of the crime as such was actually involved in the conspiracy of doing so. Now remember, the original case that has been registered for Sheena Bora and Shamvar Rai has 307 as a section, because the police certainly said then that there was an attempt made to kidnap and then to kill Mikhail as well, but he escaped. So very obviously, if the CBI is investigating the conspiracy angle, they will bring in and invoke all sections that were there originally in the case, because their plea to the court today is merely this, that we have to investigate Peter Mukerjea to find out whether he was indeed also party to an attempt that was made on Mikhail's life. And I think we must be careful about this, that it is not as if the CBI is saying that he was party to actually trying to kill Mikhail, but they are actually telling the court that there was a conspiracy even to try and Mikhail, and they need to investigate whether he was a part of that as well or not. And I think that's very important. But as you rightly said, this adds just more and more and equally serious dimensions as the original case that has, for which Indrani Mukherjee has been arrested.
And this is very complicated as far as the motive is concerned, Vinay. Why would a media baron who was considered a superstar when it came to, taking a channel or taking a network to one level, be involved in something like this? What could the motive be, whether it's Sheena Bora or now attempt at Mikhail Bora?
Yes, Gaurav, and it's a very good question that you raised, because there are 2 things. When this case had first happened, a lot of reportage went, a lot of magazines, online media, digital media, even television speculated about the personalities of the of the couple. And in that personality, Peter almost was being made out as a man who was the sensible, corporate, serious kind of a guy. Obviously, if this is what the CBI is saying and this is what is to be believed, it is really unthinkable that a man who actually ran a news network once upon a time is very well aware, well read, knows the ramifications of breaking a law, probably has covered those kind of things, his team may have covered those kind of things in the past, would actually go and plot something like this. I mean, that's something that actually sounds very, very unthinkable. But the fact that CBI has now chosen to say it in a court of law, have arrested the accused, obviously means that something like that did happen. And it is as bizarre and as shocking,
yes,
and as mysterious as you would want to put it, that it is really unthinkable that a man at that level and that stature of life could actually think of conspiring to carry out not just one but 2 acts of crime, both involving his own children or relatives in many ways.
Oh, absolutely. The way his stepchildren, the fact that Indrani Mukherjee is allegedly a part of that conspiracy. I want to bring in Atir Khan for more on this. He joins us from the CBI office in Mumbai. Atir, as complicated, as confusing, new dimensions being added to this murder investigation. Motive. What was the motive to kill Sheena Bora? What was the motive to attempt to kill Mikhail Bora?
Well, you see, basically the motive which the CBI is now focusing is that though they are also looking into the financial angle, but that is at the back of their mind. What they're focusing at the moment is that what was the provocation? Why was Indrani, why was she having such hatred towards the daughter that she could eliminate her? Was it due to insecurity? It could be due to relations, the complex web of relations which we have seen in this case. It could be also due to the financial angle which is being looked into, that after her death, this the remains, the property could have gone to either Rahul or Vidhi. So that is another angle which is being probed, but at the moment they're focusing at the complex web of relations. What was there? Was it insecurity, jealousy? What led to this hatred that a mother could have gone to the extent of allegedly eliminating her daughter? That is the focus of the CBI probe at the moment. And with Peter Mukherjee's custody, now they are all the more confident. Now they will be able to get a holistic picture. They'll be able to piece together jigsaw puzzle which were which they were hoping to put together, but then due to non-cooperation of Peter Mukherjee, it was not possible. Now that he'll be in the pressure, they are hopeful that it will happen. And as we speak, Peter Mukherjee has arrived here at the CBI office. As you can see, that police van in which he was taken to the court is now back, and it is being escorted by police. Both there's a pilot vehicle. There are in fact 3 vehicles which are escorting him, and now this police van is being brought inside the Special Task Force office of the Central Bureau of Investigation in Mumbai at Nariman Point. So clearly now the job of the CBI starts. Now they are, without wasting much of time, they will certainly put him to some intensive session of questioning. They have a lot of questions to pose to him, and they're quite hopeful with the questioning and what he reveals. The CBI will be able to come up with a comprehensive motive.
Yes, the motive. Why would Indrani Mukherjee want to kill her daughter, allegedly, if she is actually involved, and why would Peter Mukherjee be party to this, and also an attempt, if the CBI says so, on Mikhail's life?
Yes, and I think Vidya has actually got out some details of the charge sheet that has been filed. It's a 1,000-page charge sheet, so it's going to take some time. But I think the motive mentioned in the charge sheet is that there was some dispute about a flat that Indrani had bought for Sheena in Delhi, which was about 1.5 crore in value. And this particular flat, the proceeds of this money, Indrani actually sold that flat, and Sheena wanted that money to be used for buying another flat in Mumbai. And this was something over which the two had been arguing for a while. The charge sheet also mentions that the two were not on talking terms for the last 2 years before the murder happened, and that there was a lot of resentment of the fact that apart from the financial and the property angle where the disputes were there between the mother and daughter, there was also a relationship between her and her stepbrother, and that has kind of brought Peter Mukherjee into the game as well. This is what has been mentioned in the charge sheet as the plausible motives behind this particular crime, Gaurav.
Okay, so that perhaps could have been the motive as far as Indrani Mukherjee and Sheena Bora are concerned. What about Mikhail Bora? Do we have any clarity on that just as yet, Vinay?
Not yet, and I don't think we've been able to read that part of the charge sheet. But I think if you remember from what Mumbai police used to tell us earlier and what Mikhail has been saying earlier, Mikhail was asking too many questions to Indrani, and that perhaps worried her. This was something that was claimed by him. We don't know whether that claim was accepted by the CBI or not, but he used to say that this was one issue on which he was not ready to believe what was being told to him, and that he himself was a victim in many ways of a crime where the step-parents wanted to eliminate both of them. That's something that was a claim. We still haven't been able to read what's there in the charge sheet insofar as the attempt to murder case against Mikhail is concerned. But clearly, the police did recover 2 suitcases. They did recover certain other items which suggested that the plan was being made for not just 1 but 2 murders, and that Mikhail was able to escape in the nick of time, Gaurav.
This is sensational. Atir, investigations in this case so far. Now, Mikhail also claimed to the Mumbai police initially that he feared he could be eliminated. He told this to, he said this to journalists also. But was the CBI able to corroborate this independently?
Well, that is what the CBI is going to do now. We know, Gaurav, that Mikhail has been giving statement against Peter Mukherjee from the beginning. He's saying that he'd written, there was some communication between Mikhail and Peter Mukerjea, and he shared it with Mumbai police in the initial stages of the investigation. Moreover, he also revealed that there was a plan to eliminate him, and just in the nick of time, he managed to flee because he was lured to a hotel in Mumbai, and they were. Both Indrani and Sanjeev were very warm and welcome to welcome him in Mumbai. And thereafter, he got suspicious after they left the hotel. And when Indrani and Sanjeev came back, they found that Mikhail had fled from the spot. So now what the CBI is going to do is they're going to look at Peter Mukerjea's role, whether in some way he was involved in that conspiracy as well. And that is why they have attracted section 307, which pertains to attempt to murder. Remember, there's section 4 murder and attempt to murder. So clearly they are probing Peter Mukerjea's
wait a minute, Atir. We have some reactions coming in from Mumbai. Let's quickly listen
दोनों
in.
साइड, दोनों बाजू, हमारी बाजू, उनकी बाजू सुन के कोर्ट ने 4 दिन की पुलिस कस्टडी दी है. तो अभी 23 तारीख तक अभी तो शुरू जस्ट आज ही उनको कल ही उनको अरेस्ट किया गया है. तो देखते हैं
बिल्कुल ही उन्होंने जानबूझ के इस कॉन्स्पिरेसी को छिपाए रखा.
विलफुली किया है या नहीं किया है, ये उनको तहकीकात इसी चीज की तहकीकात उनको करनी है.
सीबीआई ने क्या कहा जो राहुल और
वो ऐसा कहते हैं उनके पास कोई उनके बेटे का राहुल का और उनका कोई कॉल रिकॉर्ड है जिसकी तहकीकात उनको करना है कि ये उन्होंने उस पे जो बात हुई है वो सच है या नहीं सच है, उसके पीछे क्या, अगर सच में ऐसी बात हुई है तो उसके पीछे क्या राज है वो देखना है उनको. सिर्फ नहीं, मुझे नहीं मालूम. ये इन्वेस्टिगेशन की बात है, इन्वेस्टिगेशन की बात है. सेक्शन वही सेक्शन उन्होंने कंटिन्यू किए जो पहले से केस में है. See, today they have just said that they want to check whether Peter Mukerjea is part of any conspiracy. Nothing more than that, and they are investigating that. इतना ही है.
When he was not in touch with Sheena, then also he said that Sheena is in the US.
Therefore, their case is that whether they want to check whether he is part of any conspiracy.
So how many days remand has been given?
4 days remand has been granted.
Has CBI told anything to court that what will they do in these 3 days? What kind of investigation?
No, they cannot say that. They cannot say that. They are investigating. Thank you.
So what is the motive for the murder? Now, according to the charge sheet, the main motive is the relationship that Sheena Bora, that is Indrani Mukherjee's daughter from an earlier wedding, and Rahul Mukerjea, that is Peter Mukerjee's son from an earlier wedding. Indrani Mukherjea did not approve of this relationship between Rahul and Sheena. The two secretly got engaged 2 months before Sheena's death. Sheena had all the documents to prove from her birth that she was indeed Indrani's daughter. She even had a DNA done. And the fear was that there would be blackmail. 2 years before her death, both mother and daughter, for 2 years, they were not in talking terms. They were not on talking terms. They were not talking to each other. Sheena had a property in her name that Indrani had gifted to her in Delhi. The cost of the Delhi flat was over 1 crore. This was sold. Sheena wanted a flat to be bought with that money in Mumbai.
राहुल, आपकी रिकॉर्डिंग मिली है पुलिस को जिसमें आप पीटर मुखर्जी से बात करें और उसी बिना पर पीटर को गिरफ्तार किया. क्या आप अपने पिता के रिकॉर्ड बातों को रिकॉर्ड करते थे? क्या आप जिम्मेदार मानते हैं अपने पिता की गिरफ्तारी के लिए? आपने सॉरी भी कहा. क्या आप खुद को जिम्मेदार मानते हैं? राहुल, आपकी चुप्पी है क्या? चुप्पी है क्या? गिरफ्तारी के लिए राहुल.
So Rahul hasn't reacted just as yet, but there is an audio conversation between Rahul Mukerjea and his father Peter Mukerjea that the CBI claims they have accessed, and they are using that as some bits of information to corroborate their case. And the motive, according to the charge sheet that India Today has accessed, Indrani Mukherjea was not willing to give in. Indrani Mukherjea was being blackmailed by her daughter Sheena Bora, that she would reveal to the world that she was her daughter and not her sister. Vinay Tiwari and our legal team, they've been going through, our legal reporters have been going through this charge sheet. Vinay, take us through the details as far as the motive is concerned according to the charge sheet.
Well, two motives very clearly, Gaurav, and I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that. The charge sheet mentions two very clear motives. One is, of course, the aspect of the relationship between Rahul and Sheena, and I think because they were step brothers and sisters, there was a disapproval in the relationship. But the charge sheet also says that that possibly wasn't the only reason. They then go on to say that Sheena was actually trying to blackmail her mother because she had all the documents to prove that she was actually her daughter and not sister, as she has been claiming in public and even with Peter, as Peter was claiming. The second angle of this was obviously a property which seemed to have been purchased in Delhi for Sheena, by Indrani for Sheena, which was sold, and the proceeds of which was supposed to have been used to buy another flat in Mumbai, and that is where the dispute had happened. And I think that blackmailing really started because Indrani was not willing to buy this flat in Sheena's name, and Sheena started blackmailing her by saying that in case she doesn't do that, she's going to reveal all the details about that she's her daughter and not her sister. This is what the charge sheet mentions. So two very clear things. They are not only talking about a relationship angle between Rahul and Sheena, but they're also saying that there could be a property dispute angle as well. Remember, Gaurav, when you asked me that question earlier, what would drag Peter into it?
Yes.
Now, what potentially could happen is that in case the two stepchildren actually marry each other, the inheritance of the property then actually becomes joint in these two names. And that is perhaps something that would have impacted Peter Mukerjea as well. It would not have impacted only Sheena, it would have impacted both of them. And I think that's the point at which the two may have come together to figure out this as the only solution. However bizarre it may sound, but they obviously found this as the only solution to solve this problem, Gaurav.
It sounds very, very complex, Vinay. A property dispute, a flat that cost ₹1 crore in Delhi that was sold. Sheena Bora wanted a flat to be bought in Mumbai to be registered in her name. Indrani Mukherjee refused to do that. That led to tension between the mother and the daughter. According to the CBI, the daughter was then blackmailing the mother, and this led to tension. Also, stepchildren wanting to get married, they secretly got engaged. Atir, where does Mikhail Bora fit in all of this?
Well, Mikhail's role, since the Mumbai police has been looking into his role and they had given him a clean sheet, but he's the one who's been red flagging, from the beginning that there was something wrong. He was the one who had been saying that his sister is not in the US.
Okay, Atir, you and Vinay and our entire team continue to track that story. There's breaking news coming in.
Mani pa ma ga ni pa ma ga sa ni pa ma ni sa pa sa jahan tak yaad aati rahegi